Biden may be forced to tackle trucker threat as QAnon followers call for DC convoy. So, President Joe Biden may be forced to tackle trucker protests similar to those seen in Canada and in many other cities. So, this was just in 3 hours ago through the Independent magazine or Independent news article. There's a slew of articles down here about the trucker convoy problems that have arisen. And so out of USA Today, BBC, USA Today, CNN, I'm sure they're going to report about it. If they haven't, they will be. Fox News, CBS News. So it says Canadian Freedom Convoy protest didn't surpass size of country's army. So they're just, I guess people have been chiming in about these protests that have been popping up. Freedom Convoy, Canada, trucker protests force car plant shutdowns, trucker protest over vaccine mandates at U.S. Canada bridge heightens economic worries. That's been coming up. And then this just in, the Department of Homeland Security is now watching because there could be a pop-up in LA. It says trucker protests could hit the US with the convoy starting on Super Bowl Sunday, which is coming up. And it is right around the corner, literally. And so this is going to be a problem. So basically what they're saying could happen is a protest could pop up, block traffic, and cause gridlock. There could also be counter protesters, which that could become disruptive and violence could ensue. So this was the article that came out of that. And so it's basically talking about this trucker convoy, which could happen here in LA. So this is by Nicole Saganga. U.S. truckers plan convoy perhaps in LA for Super Bowl. Department of Homeland Security is now reporting this. And so the Department of Homeland Security is warning U.S. law enforcement agency a group of truckers is planning a protest of COVID-19 vaccine mandates that could start as soon as the weekend in LA at the site of the Super Bowl. And so already businesses around there, because I live in the vicinity, they have planned to prepare for the Super Bowl. Because even when there isn't any Super Bowl, there's a lot of parking issues. There's a lot of things that can happen around that football stadium. There was an issue just recently where someone was pretending like they were running a Super Bowl parking lot, and it wasn't, and they were taking people's money. And fortunately, some people were refunded their money and others weren't, unfortunately. So there's a lot of craziness that goes around over in that area. And then there's parking issues like you wouldn't believe. So what I read earlier is that they're going to have road closures. So can you imagine a trucker convoy protest and counter protesters over there blocking traffic for the Super Bowl? Those Super Bowl tickets are thousands of dollars. And so people are not going to be happy campers if they can't get to see their game and they paid thousands of dollars to sit in those seats for the Super Bowl. This could be a big problem, cause a lot of violence. So the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, is warning the U.S. and law enforcement about this. So the bulletin was obtained by CBS News, says the convoy could then head east, perhaps reaching Washington, D.C., just in time for President Biden's State of the Union address March the 1st. So the bulletin warns that the convoy could severely disrupt transportation, federal government, law enforcement operations through gridlock, and potential counter-protests could ensue as well. So the warning comes as the trucker protest in Canada begins to hinder production at some of the U.S. auto plants that are running short on parts. And so here you see protesters that block a fast this entrance. This was like a last entrance to the Ambassador's Bridge, which connects Detroit and Windsor, effectively shutting it down as truckers and their supporters continue to demonstrate against COVID-19 vaccine mandates. This is in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. This was February the 9th, 2022. And so Bulletin says the Department of Homeland Security has received numerous reports of truckers planning to protest and potentially block roads in major metropolitan cities in the U.S. in protest of, among other things, vaccine mandates for truck drivers. So the convoy will potentially begin in California as early as mid-February, which would be around the Super Bowl, and arrive in Washington, D.C. as late as mid-March, potentially impacting the Super Bowl 2022, scheduled for February the 13th, which is this weekend. The State of the Union address scheduled for March the 1st. And so, yeah, so it sounds like it's right on schedule that this could possibly take place. But I will tell you, even when there's no Super Bowl, it is crazy around there. Parking is a big issue, and people get into fights because they can't find anywhere to park, or there's gridlock, a lot of traffic pile up, and they're talking about closing roads down. That's going to be crazy. So while there are currently no indications of planned violence, that's what they think. I'm just saying that. If hundreds of truck coverage in a major metropolitan city, the potential exists for severely disrupting transportation, federal government operations, commercial facilities, emergency services through gridlock and potential counter-protests. So according to law enforcement sources, the group intends to start in California and travel to Washington, D.C., reportedly gathering truckers as they also travel across the country. It has also been suggested that truckers and Canada may join the Washington, D.C. event. The warning was circulated to law enforcement nationwide on Tuesday and was first reported by Yahoo News. So that's how serious this whole thing is. So it's no joke. This trucker convoy protest is picking up steam. And so it is well noted that this could potentially block people who are going to the Super Bowl this weekend and pay maybe thousands of dollars to see a game that they might not be able to see because traffic is so thick that they can't get in because of this protest. And so this could hinder a lot of people's Super Bowl plans. So be looking out for this. And so this could create a big stink around there.